Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Employee Learning Week special mini series. If this is the first segment of this series you're tuning in for, take a look around. There's a link somewhere that'll take you to the full series. We'd love to have you check out the other episodes. All week long, we're celebrating by reflecting on some of our favorite programming and initiatives from this past year, and we're inviting you, our listeners, to engage with our chapter's mission and reflect on your own learning journeys. So I'm Jami, VP of Tech Ops and current president-elect for the Ann Arbor chapter of ATD. And today we have a returning board member, Melissa. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you here. And let's just jump in. Could you start out by introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Melissa Kostich, and I am currently a member at large at the Ann Arbor ATD. I was a VP of membership back in 2017 and a member at large before that. So it's great to be back on the board. And I've been with the Ann Arbor ATD for 10 years. I started in 2014. I was in the Mishrod program at Eastern Michigan University, and I was looking for ways to interact with professionals in the field of talent development. I transitioned to an entirely new field, and I really needed to develop my professional network and start searching for a new job after I graduated. So that's really how I got started with the Ann Arbor ATD.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your professional background?
So this is a second career for me. My first career was actually in Great Lakes research, and I worked in a lab
Oh, I didn't
on
know
research. Yeah, I worked in a laboratory. I worked on research vessels, and I also ran an aquaculture facility. So I did the job for over 20 years. So I tried some different parts of the work there. After that length of time, it was time to go in a new direction, and I was fortunate enough to be able to work with a mentor to help me figure out what the next steps were going to be. I'd always really liked helping people learn and grow. And so that was part of what I started thinking, okay, I really want to do this as a job rather than just with people I work with. I had run some volunteer programs in previous jobs. And so that was one of my first ways to really get involved with helping people to learn in the workplace. I researched graduate programs in the Mishrod program at Eastern, which is a Master's of Human Resources and Organizational Development is the program. And it seemed like a good fit. And when I started that very first semester, I knew I was in the right place, that was the right program for me. So I'm glad I made the right choice there. And that's really how I got started.
Yeah, that's a good feeling when you know you're in the right place. Well, we're so glad that you have returned to the board. And looking back on this past year, is there a specific A2ATD event, program, or initiative that really stands out as a favorite for you?
Yeah, so the most valuable event for me in this year was How to Earn a Seat at the Table with Greg Coyne. And that was a session in May. And it definitely had me out of my comfort zone, but it was really useful to think about my job from the perspective of my customers. I'm so used to my mindset of, okay, here I'm going to go in and help these people. And one of the things I really had to think about is, why am I here? Why am I involved with them? What do they need to me? What do they need from me? And most importantly, how do I get them to want it? I can sit there and look at someone struggling with tying their shoes, but if they don't want to tie their shoes, me helping them tie it isn't, they don't want my help. So I really had to think about, how do I sell my services to people? And that's a really significant part of my job.
Yeah.
And so thinking about, and really people need to be involved with you as you're trying to help support them. You can't fix it for someone or say, okay, you're going to learn how to do this. Well, if they aren't interested in learning, they're not going to learn it. True. So it really had me thinking about, how do I get people to want to buy what I'm selling?
That's so true. I think there are certain types of roles like sales, customer service, where they're kind of ingrained in all roles, and you might not think about it, but it's like, oh yeah, actually, I need to be able to do these things and get outside my comfort zone sometimes. So, oh, that's good. Thank you for reminding me of that one. I do remember that was a very interesting conversation. So we're celebrating this week. In your view, why is Employee Learning Week important for organizations and professionals?
Well, I think we all get really busy in our day-to-day jobs and dealing with whatever challenges come up there. So we don't really make time to learn new things or even focus on getting better at stuff that we already know how to do. Research has shown that people need to keep learning throughout their lives in order to stay vibrant and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we really do need to make a focus of that and set aside time to grow and learn. Um, Organizations really benefit from creating a culture that values learning and continue to explore ways to get better. If you're if you never improve the widget that you're making or change the way you do stuff, someone else is going to come along and they're going to do it better because they are looking for ways to get better. And those ideas really come from our people. And thinking like, why do I have to walk three steps past this when I can just turn and do it once? And until you do it, you don't really know that it's better. And so I
Yeah.
think also we just, as we continue to grow and learn, new ideas come out, and we can continue to share those with others and help all organizations get better.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How has connecting with other talent development professionals in our chapter been valuable to you?
So as someone who is transitioning to a whole different field, it did take me a while. It took me 2 years after I graduated with my master's to find the right fit for me as a job. Um, I was older. I needed to have a livable income. I couldn't live in someone's basement, and so I couldn't have like a starting wage salary in a lot of regards. But I brought a lot of work experience with me. It just was a different industry. Um, so being around members of the Ann Arbor ATD was really a lifeline for me in that time period because I was ready to transition out of my old job, but my new job wasn't there yet. I was able to really gain insight from other people's experiences and stay engaged in talent development, even though it wasn't what I did day to day at that point. I will point out, I didn't get a job directly from my involvement with the chapter. It wasn't a big job pool, but what I
Mm-hmm.
got was a tremendous amount of support and mentoring from people who had been on the same journey as me and had been in my shoes or had some similar experience. And it kind of helped me to keep going sometimes where, because, when you're at a point you're ready to move on and you can get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's harder for you to get a new position because your mindset isn't always right. And so that really helped me to get my head right and be open to the right opportunities. And I still get that kind of support from people. It's been really wonderful. I also really appreciate the opportunity to be able to do that for other people now that I'm further along in that road because I've been there. I know what it's like, and it's tough when you're transitioning, and it's tough to find the next new job sometimes. And the ones that don't work out, they're not the ones you're supposed to have, but it doesn't feel like it at that time. When you're ready to move, the bags are packed. Like, oh,
Right.
sorry, put them over there again. It's not time yet. But
Yeah.
this has been a great resource to help me when I was going through that.
Yeah. And now you're become the great resource. It
Both of them,
comes full circle.
absolutely.
All right, time for a fun one. If you could have any superpower to help you with your work and talent development, what would it be and why?
I think I would say flying. I'd have to get over my fear of heights, so I guess I would just have to put the blinders on and just go. But I love the idea of being able to fly in, get where I need to go, spend time with people, and then zip back home or wherever else I need to go next. It's one of those things that would allow me to have a little bit more freedom for my own time, for my own development, but
Yeah.
also, being able to be places, it takes time. Our company that I work for is international. And so sometimes I support our international groups. Sometimes I work with people locally.
Yeah.
There's always that travel involved that, if I could just do this and have it be gone, that would be awesome in some ways.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Melissa, telling us a little bit about you and sharing some insights with our listeners. And before we go, let's give the people something to ponder. What's something you want everyone to answer in the comments?
I think one of the challenges that I would put out there for people is to, especially with this learning week, is push yourself outside your comfort zone. Give yourself opportunities to grow in areas that maybe you've kind of not gone into because it isn't super comfortable, or you've been wanting to, you just haven't made the time. This is the time to do that. Make a plan, commit to yourself. I want to grow in this area this time, this month or this year or beginning of next year. It's not like the New Year's resolution. This is really an investment in you, and investing in you is going to benefit everyone around you at home or at work. So I would challenge you to to get outside that comfort zone and really give yourself a chance to grow.
All right. Can we get a commitment? Let's hear it in the comments. Thank you, Melissa, and happy Employee Learning Week, everyone. Keep celebrating, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next one.